You're about to work on a problem string. Let's go over the process. Step number 1, I will present a problem. After I present the problem, your job is to pause and solve. So you will stop the recording and do the work on your own. Very, very important that you try before you move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is you check your work and you learn or think about the strategy I'm trying to show you so that you can then repeat the process and focus on that strategy. So after I show the strategy and talk about it, your job is then to use and learn the strategy so that by the end, when you reflect, you can talk about the strategy, when you would use it, why it's important, and then you would solve the final problem using the strategy and turning in your work there on the form. You can either do that by showing your work through equations or by taking a picture of your work and submitting it on the form. Have fun! All right, so the problem string we're going to be looking at today is called partial quotients. This is all about division and how to make our lives a little bit easier when it comes to division. So let's take a look at this title real quick. So the idea of partial means to look at chunks or pieces of a problem. And quotient is the answer to a division problem. So in that example, 6 divided by 2, that 3, that's the quotient. So we're going to be looking at pieces of a problem, pieces of the answer to help us get the overall answer. All right, so let me give you some context to the problems we're going to be looking at first. There's a girl named Maya. Maya loves to do scrapbooking and lettering and all that great fun stuff. She also loves stickers. The place that she goes to buy stickers sells them by the segment. So when we talk about segments of stickers, this is what we're talking about. So maybe a segment is 6 or so. And then there's rolls of stickers, which is this area down here. So let's get to work. So Maya bought 36 stickers from a roll that had 60 stickers in each segment. How many segments did she buy? So this problem is 36 divided by 6. You can go ahead and pause it. I'm about to answer it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we go. Here's our partial quotients. That first problem was at 36 divided by 6. You may have just known it was 6 based on math facts and math fluency. If you wanted to draw it out, you could. We have this area of 36. We know one side is 6. That means the other side is going to be 6. All righty. Let's look at the second problem. Maya bought 360 stickers from another roll that had 6 stickers in each segment. How many segments did she buy? So this one is 360 divided by 6. Again, we do always want to use some of that work that we've already done. Pause it and solve it. And here we go. So if we have 36 and we notice that 36 and 360, that's 10 times more, right? And we've kept this the same. We've kept our divisor the same. What is going to happen to our answer? Is it going to be the same? No, it's going to be 10 times more. It's going to be 10 times more. So we're going to have that 360 area. We know one side is 6, so the other side, using our understanding of multiplication, is going to be 60. Let's see what happens next. Maya bought 30 stickers from another roll that had 6 stickers in each segment. How many segments did she buy this time? Go ahead and solve it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so that was 30 divided by 6, right? So we have 30 divided by 6. Well, again, if I just know my math facts, I know that's going to be 5. If I wanted to draw it out, we have 30 in there. We have 6 on one side. So what is up here? Well, again, that would be 5. All right, let's see what happens next. If there are 390 stickers on a roll and there are 6 stickers in each segment, how many segments are there? 390 divided by 6. Go ahead and pause and solve it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so if we see this, okay, if we notice that 390 is the same thing as what? 360 plus 330. So 360 plus 330, or plus 30 is 390. How does that help us? Well, what we can do is we can say 390 divided by 6 is the same thing as 360 divided by 6 plus 30 divided by 6. And how does that help us? Well, we can say that is equal to 60 plus 5, and that is equal to 65. And that must mean that 390 divided by 6 is 65, and it is. Another way to look at that is if we have, right, that 360, and we have 30, and we know that over here is 6. We know that this is 60. We know that this is 5. So we add all that together, and that's going to give us 65 and 390. All right, let's see what's next. All right, what about 330 divided by 6? 3, 2, 1, 0. So not only can we take the quotients, so we can break apart numbers, right? That's been a strategy we've been using all year. It's this idea of what are numbers made of? How can I make my calculations simpler? So if I look at 330, I should be able to see that 330 is 360 minus 30. And if I see that, now I can make this much, much simpler and easier, or simpler for me to calculate. How do I do that? Well, I have 360 divided by 6, and I'm going to subtract from that answer 30 divided by 6. And what is that going to get me? Well, when I divide 360 by 6, I know that answer is 60, and I'm going to take away from that 5, which is going to give me 55. So 330 divided by 6 is 55. So what are we doing? We're taking apart numbers to try and find dividends that are simpler to solve. All right, so for any given number and in any given problem that we have for division, if we take apart that number, the dividend, and think about the relationship with the divisor and try and make it simpler for us to calculate, that's going to make our lives easier. Let's look at what the next one is. All right, so this one is 30 divided by 15. Go ahead and pause it in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you know 30 divided by 15 is 2 because it's 2 times 15 is 30. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so our next problem is 300 divided by 15. Go ahead and 3, 2, 1, 0. Hopefully you saw that relationship. 300 is 10 times more than 30, which means that our answer is going to be 10 times more. Why are we going to do this? What are we going to use it for? Let's find out here now. So how can we use this information to figure out 270 divided by 15? How can we find some partial quotients and add those, or subtract and add those together in 3, 2, 1, 0? Well, hopefully you saw that 300 minus 30 is 270. So what can we do? We can change this to 300 divided by 15 minus 30 divided by 15. And what does that give us? Well, 300 divided by 15 is going to give us 20. 30 divided by 15 is going to give us 2. So that means 270 divided by, well, let's make that a little bit better. 15 is going to give us 18. Okay, why? Because we're taking and breaking down the number 270, thinking about that our divisor, what are some numbers that are, what are some quotients I can get that are simpler for me to calculate, and playing around with those numbers. All right, so now comes your final challenge. Click on the link to look at the form. Remember to fill it out. What is the strategy? What are we trying to do with it? And use the strategy to solve the problem that's on the form. Bye, everybody.